diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Big time, lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of prime. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
Welcome to episode 248 of Fourth and Jawn. I am Gail Saunders here with Evan Maskless. Mask on her and Prime in the building. Obviously, we're rebounding from a tough loss yesterday versus the New York Giants. Setting the scene here, like we could fast forward to the meat and potatoes of what's going on in our heads. I mean, 71 seconds left in this game. An opportunity to win the game. You got Hurts, 11 for 23, 98 yards on the day, 3 interceptions. And we have an opportunity to get a miracle in the Meadowlands 3. Giant fans were very, very, very shook. Like they at one point they were beating their chests. But we had an opportunity to, take this dub. And you're talking about why I'm talking about Jalen Hurts being 11 for 23, 98 yards, 3 interceptions. Because the guy didn't have the greatest game passing. He didn't have the greatest performance. And at times, as a player, a football player, you're going to come back and try and make a play. You have to forget about whatever transpired in the past. You gotta bring your A game when the game is on the line. So there's multiple mistakes all across the board. But when your receivers are open, you expect them to catch the football. Open or covered or contested, you expect them to catch the football when the ball is right there for the taking. So Jalen Reagor, we had previously talked about Jalen Reagor in the last podcast heavily. It has officially hit the fan, and but overall, what I liked about Jalen, some people might argue that why go back to Jalen Reagor, because when your quarterback looks at you in the huddle, you drop a ball, he says, "I'm coming back to you." You're a professional NFL wide receiver. Game is on the line. The ball is in your hands for a second opportunity to change the game. And 2 drops. I mean, there was also a Boston Scott fumble, but turning the ball over like they did, you can't expect to win the game with 4 turnovers. But overall, it was a gut wrenching. I mean, because we were there live, guys. I know you guys have your feelings on the last bits of that game, but overall, I mean, you guys. I mean, how was your overall feeling? Because I know I'm still feeling it. I tweeted out yesterday. I said, this is the kind of game you're going to go to sleep mad at night, and tomorrow you're going to wake up still mad.
Yeah, I mean, that game that we brought these masks. We had them made, put the flowers on them. Was looking for an excuse to put this mask on at any point during the game, and they just didn't give it to us at all. I'm wearing it right now out of embarrassment because I don't want you to really see how upset that game made me yesterday. Man, I hear the timeline is an absolute mess right now, whether we're talking about Jalen Reagor, Jalen Hurts. The thing that I don't really understand, you kind of set that all up, and I'm not trying to – I don't think that this game – let me say this at the top. I don't think that game – the blame is placed on any one individual. I don't think one individual catches blame for that. Jalen Hurts didn't have a good game. No. Jalen Reagor, there should have been other opportunities earlier in the game that we could have capitalized on, like that Greg Ward drop, like the Boston Scott fumble. There's plenty of things that happened that if they went a different way, the game could have had a completely different outcome. The way that I look at it, though, is that there's all of the I feel like the entire timeline just decided yesterday after that game that Jalen Hurts isn't the guy. Jalen Hurts isn't the guy. And I just don't understand the sentiment at all. I mean, this entire fan base is so wishy-washy with Jalen Hurts. I've never seen anything like it before. Well, last week he's guaranteed to be the guy because he had 3 rushing touchdowns. He had a great game. I mean, after week 1 in Atlanta, nobody was talking about how bad his arm is. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He had a great game, great completion percentage, a lot of yards. This Hurts to me is a guy that is totally capable of being a good quarterback. He's just young and inexperienced. He's green. The dude needs time in the system. This is still year 1 with a year 1 head coach. Let's not forget that. I get it. I get the guy doesn't have the arm strength, but let's not dance around the fact that he does a lot of other things that we do like. Obviously, after yesterday, it's hard to talk about all the positives about what Jalen Hurts can bring to the table, but I am not completely turned off by Jalen Rager at this point. I like him. I still need to see the full year out of Jalen Hurts in order to get my full evaluation. As far as Jalen Rager is concerned, I turned to you, Gail, after that second drop. I just said, it's over. I'm done with him, man. I can't handle it anymore. Jalen Rager is a guy that, listen, I will be the first to admit that he was a guy that I did like in the draft. I was not completely sold on Jefferson, and I liked Rager's athletic ability. I liked his raw talent. I got egg on my face. What do you want me to say? I was wrong about that. But the dude he's not living up to where he was drafted. He shouldn't be out there in that position. I don't think he should be the guy we should be leaning on in that scenario. We have a guy who was a proven talent in year 1 and Devontae Smith, who's a rising star. We've all at this point seen the footage of where I think that, maybe they should have thrown to Devontae and then given him that opportunity to win the game. I don't know, man. My whole brain is a mess right now. I'm completely scrambled. That game just completely upended me. Prime, save me, bro. I don't
Bro, you are all over the place, but it's cool. I'm gonna save you because speaking as a fan, all right, and fan ambassador of 4th and Jawn, I was pissed. I'm still pissed. Today was a rough day at work. Today was a rough day being an Eagles fan. It was rough being in that building, leaving the way we did. I started off the day in a great mood, took the ride up to North Jersey, took the ride up to MetLife. It was a great time. The road trip was pretty neat. We were, conversating, enjoying ourselves, good mood getting there. Get out of the vehicle. We set up, the tailgate went real good vibes. Good people ended up joining us. We showed the hospitality at an opposing team's, parking lot, and, we got it in, man. And, the momentum going into that stadium was on our side. I even got into it with a Giants fan from the very beginning because he was mouthing off, and the guy didn't even know what the hell he was talking about. He started throwing Steve McNair into the damn mix, and that man never played one down for the Philadelphia Eagles. It was just like I was ready. I was so amped up. I go in there, and it was Charlotte all over again. It was Carolina all over again, bro. It was just like 3 quarters, like loss. Nothing was going on. No offense, no nothing. And then I turn and I look to these guys and I'm like, hey, listen, Carolina all over again. We, 3 quarters of nothing, but this 4th quarter, they're coming through. They're going to, they're getting shit together. Jalen Hurts did not look his greatest. There were a lot of misplays. I'm reading some of these comments asking where some of the players that they were MIA. Let me tell you, nobody was MIA. They just weren't being looked at. All right. There was a lot of plays that I saw Devontae open on. There was a lot of plays I saw Dallas open on. There was Ward dropped that pass, but there was another play that I saw him open at one point. There was another, JJ Arcega-Whiteside had 1 reception for 13 yards. I mean, there were people doing their thing. Jalen just was not on point. When it came down to that fumble by Scott, my heart dropped because the momentum was definitely on that drive to go ahead and win the game right there. But, we didn't give up. We stood in there to get the defense came back in and did their thing. That was one point where those Giants fans got so quiet and they got scared. And then again, the momentum was back on our side. And we stood there and I started mouthing off again and we got hyped. we see the pass go to Jalen Reagor, and when he dropped it, it was just like, what the fuck? I mean, it
The
was just
first
like,
time or the second time?
no, the first time. All right, because so of course, these damn Giants fans, even they were like, oh shit, like thank God he dropped it. Here he comes again, and it was just like, we're going to win this game. This guy, he's going to go ahead and he's going to find somebody wide open. Man, was Devontae so wide open on that last one? He beat his receiver. My problem, and I kept saying this to you guys yesterday, man, all he has to do is lead his receivers, and he could be the best at that position, man. He just lacks that. He lacks that, and he showed it yesterday. And the 2 drops by Jalen Reagor was just like, I'm with you, Evan. Like I'm just, I wasn't a Jalen Reagor. I was not bought in on Jalen Reagor getting drafted. I was the Justin Jefferson guy. You guys try to convince me, and I really try to go ahead and get, allow you guys to convince me. But man, I'm done with all that convincing shit. Like that dude, I'm done with him now. I'm not trying to come at him, man. I know his mentality, his mentalness and all that is not there. But I'm just disappointed, man. I'm disappointed because he could be better at the position that he came into the NFL to play, and he's just not showing that. I'm watching some of the routes. Some people posted some videos of some of the routes he ran, and it was just like, wow, like, come on, dude, you could run these routes a whole lot better, you could be more aggressive at these routes, and he's not. It's just you could just see he's just not there, man. So I don't know. I don't know what more to go ahead and defend this kid, but it is what it is, man.
Go ahead, Gil.
No, I go back to I went back and looked at my analysis of Jalen Reagor during the pre-draft process to see where I had the weaknesses. Where I was like, I said the number one weaknesses that I had was concentration drops, and it's like, the whole Justin Jefferson thing. I had Jefferson higher than Reagor, but I thought both of them would be there for the picking. And the Eagles, it's part of, like, I think part of the anger that some of us have going to, like, we have Justin Jefferson in the back of our minds. We have DK Metcalf in the back of our mind. Another guy who's amazing, by the way, but he does suffer drops. But it is what it, like I've seen so many people argue about the Devontae Smith being open. That's one thing that I could see where because everybody knows that he's going to Devontae Smith, and that's where he's been looking pretty frequently, and Goddard. That's how they're defending us these days. But the fact that you have a guy who made a phenomenal catch previously before the first half it ended in Jalen Reagor. So like when people are like, bro, like that's a catchable ball, and that's a game-winning ball that he should come down with. And like me and Evan had spoke earlier, and I was like, I saw that dude as a freshman jump over 6 dudes to catch a ball before the halftime with 0 seconds on the clock. So I know he can make that catch. We've seen him do one hand, like so right now it's mental for me. That dude is like sports there, like he's mentally not there. Like he's just not mentally there. And I think what you guys said last week just about how he set himself up for this kind of social media warfare back and forth with the fan, doing stuff that he did last week. And like, if he didn't do anything like that, like do not disturb or like he put all that energy into that kind of stuff. That's the energy you're receiving last week. And now here we are, it's back on your doorstep. I want to see how he this is it for me in terms of, I want to see how he reacts. He comes back and doesn't take accountability. That's a problem. It's a huge problem. This is growing pains right here. If he doesn't realize this is the lowest of the low for his career right now with the Eagles, he's got to wake up.
Yeah. The one thing I did today, my bad, real quick. The one thing that I did today, man, during break, real quick, I went back to YouTube and I went back to that video that you guys had me watch to convince me that Jalen Reagor was a good pick during the draft pick. and that was that one. It was one where he caught the ball on 2 defenders, and this was by a quarterback that you guys kept on right. That you kept on driving into me that he can make plays by an awful quarterback, an awful quarterback, and Jalen Hurts is not awful. Jalen Hurts got some work to do, but he's not awful. And the throws that he made yesterday couldn't have gone any better than the way they did. And you can't catch those balls. Something's up, man.
You know what, Prime? That's actually a really good point that you bring up, because I think that one of the major criticisms that we've had about Jalen Reagor recently is talking about not only, I mean, the drops, obviously, but how he's quitting on routes, right? So to me, him having such an awful college quarterback, just throwing the ball up and him being able to go and get it, that to me screams that he's like should be a quarterback's best friend type of wide receiver, a guy that can go out there and do whatever it takes to make the catch. Where's that mentality? This dude's quitting on routes. He's sitting there in his own head, and he's just causing more of a problem for himself and shooting himself in the foot with the things that he says. The mentality, I don't know where it went. I mean, honestly, I think that a lot has changed from the time. And Gail, you've mentioned how the decision to go to TCU over Oklahoma. Granted that his grandma was weighed in on the decision, or I should say that she was heavily involved in why he decided to go to TCU. He wanted to be closer to his grandma, but for him to not want to compete and for him to just want to be the guy at TCU, as you like to put it, I don't know, man. What does that really say about his mentality? Is this something that we should have seen and kind of forecasted?
I mean, that's the kind of thing. Like I look at a Devontae Smith and him coming out and being not, he was heavily recruited, but he was going to Bama regardless. He didn't care if there was like 7 or 8 wide receivers in front of him. He was going there.
There was great wide receivers with him. There's Jalen Waddle.
So he knew all those guys were there, and his mindset was like, I'm going there to compete with the best. Like, so for me, like this is where this takes me, because you're like, what was I missing? Like, well, let me go back and like let me start seeing where I was at. Like, and I start looking at those kind of things. Like, did you just want to be and fast forward now, you have an opportunity to be the man, So I'm like, the mentality of, I could just imagine. I'm pretty sure Jalen Hurts is like, you forget about that play, I'm coming back to you, and that's what that's what quarterbacks have said to me in the past. They look you in the eye and like, I'm coming back to you,
and that's a good leader.
I'm coming back.
One Hurts.
Yeah, so I'm like, you get that opportunity not once but twice. Yeah. Like it's just it is what it is, and it's a play that as Eagle fans we will talk about for eternity, probably.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was a tough one, bro, because I mean, at the end of the day, it started off with that loss with Dallas. All right. We were all watching that game on Thanksgiving. Come on. We were all watching that game on Thanksgiving, seeing that the Raiders did the job for us and beat Dallas. All right. So it was just all lined up with the rest of the schedule the way it is. We had the Giants. We had the Jets. We had a bye, Washington, Giants again, Washington again, and then it all came down to that last game. Now, not saying that last game would have meant something, but I mean, in our eyes, at the end of the day, when you play the Dallas Cowboys, it means something. All right. But I mean, it was just lined up. The stars were lined up for us, and they ruined it. That's what pisses me off even more. Again, lined up in place for you to go ahead and take this shit, and you ruined it. Now, I'm not saying that we were going to go crazy all the way, but I mean, it was just the momentum and being able to end this thing on a good note, because it started off on a bad note. So to go ahead and have the last laugh at the end of the season is always something we want, and it was right there for us to go ahead and get, and we ruined it.
I want to talk about this one thing that Jeff Cross put up here. Talk about Hurts eyes up one wide receiver every play. He has to do better. I agree with you. That is something that he struggled with, and I want to also remind you guys that Carson Wentz struggled with. I mean, this is a guy, and I don't like drawing the comparison between the two, but it's ultimately what's going to happen. It was the guy that we used to have with the guy that we currently have. Those are the two guys that we're talking about. Carson Wentz, do you guys not remember when Doug Peterson was breaking down the field into small
Half-field reads,
segments, the half-field reads? Is that not just pretty much another translation of exactly what's going on with Jalen Hurts? I think it's a problem that young quarterbacks deal with. You're coming into the league and it's very overwhelming. And so you're just trying to hone in on one guy. You're trying to stick to the play, and it doesn't happen. That's the thing that happens in development. These are the types of things why I'm saying that Jalen Hurts needs this full year to develop and see what we have at the end of the year.
So I want to go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt that he does that. No problem. And this is something that we got to deal with. But yesterday, again, watching some of those routes, watching the way these receivers beat the defenders the way they did. Okay, so if you're going to stare at that one receiver all the way down and you see that your receiver did his job, God damn it, lead your receiver. Let go of that goddamn ball. He waited so long on the one play. Rager had his defender beat. Lead your receiver. Just go ahead and air that ball up, man. His job is to go up there and get it, and he did. He had him beat, and then he had to stop and come back and get the ball because he waited too long to let it go. It's stuff like that. Like, again, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. He's still learning, but I mean, come on.
Well, go back to part two. Go back to a play earlier in the game. It's a play where Hurts is rolling to his left, and he's got Devontae coming back on an out route, and it's like it looks like it's an easy money play. And you if you look at the ball placement where the ball's thrown, and you'll see. I mean, just look at Devontae's face, and like receivers give off these like these faces where they're just like, you're like, that's a face where you're like, bro, like, it's like throw me the damn ball, or bro, that was a terrible pass. And I could see it in Devontae Smith, and you see at the end of the game where people may mention of Devontae Smith was very upset that he didn't get the ball, and there are wide receivers are like that, man. They're just because the thing that Sirianni liked about it, he said, I love that he's competitive. He wants the ball when the biggest on the biggest stage. He wants the ball. Freshman year, who wins the national championship? Devontae Smith, a guy who's competing for his life as a freshman, comes and makes a humongous play. A guy who in the national championship his last year with Bama, making phenomenal plays. So I could see where Devontae Smith is like, bro, I am the alpha. I am the alpha. So it's just like I can understand Devontae Smith's frustrations. Again, if I'm the Eagles, I'm like, and Chris Godwin's available, or another one of these like free agent wide receivers I'm bringing them in next season. I'm bringing them in. I'm not like you can wait and draft another guy, but I'd rather just bring in a free agent wide receiver who's competent to
and a veteran.
We need a guy that is a consistent playmaker. And
not only
didn't Godwin grow up in Delaware?
Who's that?
Didn't Godwin grow up in Delaware?
Yeah, I get it, but I mean, at the end of the day, if the man
didn't Monte Rager play for the Eagles?
I'm just saying, if he's a free agent, he was like wants to play next to his family. Hey.
But anyways,
I'm just saying.
No,
bringing a veteran wideout. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's kind of more the point that I'm getting at, is the fact that it's not so much. You need someone that could be a leader for these young guys. Who's the oldest wide receiver on the squad right now? Greg Ward?
Yeah.
Who also dropped the ball.
Yeah, totally. He did, but he is not. Greg Ward is what? An undrafted free agent? Well, Jalen Rager is it does matter. It does matter.
I'm telling you, bro, you're an NFL wide receiver. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to catch the ball in the end zone. Like,
agreed.
Like,
but does not,
Rager's drop
first round versus undrafted.
Bro, come on, man.
One has more potential than the other. No.
A wide receiver is open in the NFL. You expect a wide receiver to catch the ball. There's no.
I agree with you.
Yeah, so you can't differentiate between drops just because you're. I don't care if you're a first or seventh round pick.
I'm saying
you got to pick. You got to catch the rock.
Drops. I'm differentiating between anger. I'm not expecting a Greg
Come
Ward.
on, man. You're not you can't you don't expect Greg Ward, who led us in first downs last year.
Yeah, you're right. And that's a
He
guy
was solid.
Yeah, exactly. He was consistent in the past. I don't have a gripe with Greg Ward like I have a gripe with Jalen Reagor, who's underperformed ever since we drafted him. Greg Ward has overperformed.
So we're talking about a game where we lose by 7 points, right?
Yep.
6 points.
Yep.
And a player to drop a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
They're equally
what did I say
bad
at the
right
top
now.
Of the show? I said there's not one individual person.
I know. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is like Greg Ward just had a drop. I was like, I have a problem with all drops.
Okay, and it's not like I'm sitting here like rah, go Greg Ward, even though we dropped the ball. I'm
not giving Greg Ward a pass though. Like, he's a veteran guy that should catch the ball too.
I'm giving Greg Ward somewhat of a pass.
How? How the fuck are we giving a pass for drop touchdowns? Greg Ward was our most consistent. We call him Steady Eddie, bro. I don't care. Like, our wide receivers got to catch the ball when they're open. We're not giving anyone passes.
Nobody.
I think that Greg Ward's ball. I think we're kind of also underestimating how hard that ball was. Hit him in the hands. Should have caught it. You're 100% right. He should have caught it, but he fucking fully laid out for that ball. That's not exactly in the easiest ball to catch either. Jalen Reagor had a ball hit him in the face and in the hands.
I watched the play like 15 times already.
Okay.
That catchable ball, bro.
Greg Ward's?
Yeah, catchable ball.
Right.
Come on, man. But I mean, like the amount of mistakes, turning over the ball down by the end zone. I think even Shady McCoy had tweeted out like high school stuff. Get 3 at the end of the game. I mean, you kick a field goal down there. You throw that interception with like 8 seconds left on the clock. You know, I just thought that was mismanagement.
It was definitely a lot of mistakes. I mean, Boston Scott fumbled the ball. That one again, heartbreaking. But you know, like, are you going to give him a pass? No, can't give him a pass. I mean, he plays. You know what I mean? You got to secure that ball a whole lot better.
I'm not giving nobody passes.
I mean, hey, listen, I agree with both of you because again, Ward, he was hot last year. I mean, he's not new to the game, so I understand, Evan. I mean, Gail, you know what I mean? But, you know, I understand Evan's point too. And then at the same time, you know what I mean? The guy that isn't seeing too much time. He's coming in for one big play. There's your moment. But, you know, hey, he dropped it. It goes all around. It goes all around.
Why do you think the Eagles drew up 2 plays to go to Jalen Reagor to win the game instead of Greg Ward?
I don't think that's they drew up the play for.
You don't think they drew up that play?
No, I mean he's part of the read.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying like the play to Greg Ward. That's like they drew that one up for you nicely. That was like that's when you get that kind of play and they call that play in the huddle and you're like, oh,
if
got this.
Jalen Reagor gets open, is that play not also drawn up for him?
No, I mean like if you're the number one target, like if you're the look down by the goal line, there's goal line. They bring in goal line packages. You know when this play's run, who's getting the ball. Like it's meant for you,
right? Especially
short yardage. So I think I just think it's terrible, man.
Dude, and that's what it is. I mean, we're pretty much just grasping straws here, if we're being real. I'm not like I said, I'm not excusing the Greg Ward drop. The only point that like I'm coming down on Reagor harder is because I expect more of Reagor than I do of Greg Ward. That's my simple point.
Yeah, I just so what Jalen Reagor has showed us so far, he's been consistently inconsistent.
Yeah,
like I don't know what to expect from him.
Same to say about Hurts. Same to say about Hurts. Hurts has his great games, and then Hurts just 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, fucking 17.5 quarterback rating yesterday. I mean, everyone on this entire offense has been inconsistent all year, except for the offensive line. The offensive line has been the one true testament to this entire year.
And then it's funny that Jason Kelsey gets hurt.
Yeah.
Herbig comes in. He had the block on that run that was called back. If he just didn't try to pancake the dude, he probably wouldn't have got called. But and then we had the Boston Scott touchdown call back. Like if Jason Kelsey doesn't get hurt, does that play? Does those calls even happen? And you're just like, I was trying to like retrace every single era to being like, man. But that's football, man. Like at the end of the game.
But then you go back and you blame Sirianni for some of the play calling as well. Like towards that fourth quarter, why get away from the run game? The run game was working all day. You know what I mean? And then like I forgot who it was. Brian ended up was it Brian Baldinger or Baldy? Yeah. He ended up showing this one video how the line was pretty much helping out with getting that run, the rushing, yards happening and everything with the blockers that they were doing, the blocks that Goddard was doing on the line as well, helping out with the offensive line, contributing to that. So, I mean, like these guys, each Scott and Sanders was 64 yards apiece. Miles Sanders was averaging 7 yards per carry. I mean, like he started off real good. It looked like he had a little situation with his leg, like towards the end of that second half. And it kind of kept on bothering him. But at the same time, you got Boston Scott that was coming in and contributing. All right, he fumbled the ball. You get him back in there so that way he could get, he could like let that shit go and, get back on the positive side. But, he just completely got away from the run game. And now you got to go focus on throwing the ball and making these passes, forcing these passes. And shit, you got intercepted 3 times, 4 times almost, because if that one pass Jalen Reagor bobbled it, after he missed it, it hit off of him and it almost went into the defender's hand. But luckily, the defender dropped it. That could have been 4 interceptions right there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the game plan. He got away from the game plan again when it was just working. Like, I mean, those guys couldn't stop the rush for shit.
Do you think that? Do you think that on that final drive? I mean, definitely the clock was in play, but do you think that Boston Scott not getting the ball had anything to do with the fumble earlier in the game?
Oh, with Gainwell playing at the end?
Yeah.
It depends how they run their 2 minute. If they feel like Gainwell is the better option in 2 minute, if he's the 2 minute back. I mean, those 2 chunk plays that Gainwell had were tremendous.
For sure.
Those plays.
They put him in position, right?
Yeah. I was like, bruh. I mean, we're sitting in the end zone. You're just like, that was the point where we were sitting there looking at each other because we were getting we were kind of getting heckled by this one older gentleman, Giant fan, who was just like, I just wanted to I just wanted to pour my drink on him. Just those kind of vibes. You're just like, this guy keeps tweeting. And then he's just looking back at you and I just don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. And all those guys got quiet. All these doubters, these Giant fan doubters were like, oh, this always happens. I'm going to go to the bathroom because they're going to score here. And so when they started to drive, you could feel the wind being sucked out of the stadium. And the other thing that was very, I'll give hat tip to the Giants about, the fact that they did the Michael Strahan, retirement of his jersey. I thought that was a tremendous power move for them. How do you get people back in the seats? How do you get Eagle fans not coming here and disrupting? We'll do the Strahan thing today because I had asked on the last podcast, yo, Eagle fans, we got to show up, man. And I've been to MetLife for numerous games. The last 3 or 4 games that I've been to, we have taken the stadium over. Let me repeat, we have taken the stadium over. Yesterday, we did not.
Nah, there was a bunch of blue out there. And it was kind of crazy because if you walked around in the lots prior, we didn't even talk about the tailgate. There was a lot of green. There was a lot of green down there in the lots. Just
and one naked Giants fan.
One naked Giants fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the party, the tailgate itself was a good time.
About 50 people show up.
Yeah. If I'm being real, I knew that day was a piece of shit from the get-go. I mean, we weren't in the lot for more than 5 minutes. We started tossing a football around, and I busted my lip open. I was like, this day is shit from the get-go. We ain't winning shit. I was looking like Jalen Reagor out there, dude.
We're going to start reading some of these comments here that bring up some comments that you want to. Morris says he has played a full 16 games now. Need to see better than 60% passing before I really start believing. I feel like that's fair.
Two different.
I feel like that's fair.
He hasn't played a full 16 in one system.
I just think he's portrayed some traits that you like. He's kind of he is. I'm not going to say kind of. He is a leader in the locker room. He conducts himself pretty well, holds himself accountable. I just really need to see more consistency as a passer. And if, like, I'm not saying me, but if I'm trying to think like a Lurie or think like a Howie, like what secures my job as, like, again, you look at Howie, like you drafted Mans to take over, but then you also, if I'm Lurie, I can't have my quarterback going into the fourth quarter, because I'm just thinking like how Lurie, how Lurie, he wants to pass the ball. We go back to the Green Bay, the rushing with Wentz, and he was mad about that one. This is these kind of nuggets you try to play and try to make sense of. If I'm Lurie, like, I can't have my quarterback 11 for 26 and 98 yards and 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter. That can't.
Yeah.
That can't be a thing. So my Giants buddies are hitting me up like, Joe, man, I think he's like, I think that game right there is, I go out and get Wilson after that game. I was just like, I'm waiting for the full evaluation. I'll give you my report at the end of the season.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's Jeffrey's out here saying he doesn't understand the excuses for. I'm not sitting here trying to make excuses for Hurts. I'm acknowledging what he's not good at. His arm is not his strong suit. But I'm not also, just after that game, I'm not giving up on him. That's not me making an excuse for Hurts. I'm just saying the same thing I've been saying on every single show, that I need the full year to see what I'm working with. And at the end of the year, that's when we make our decision on Jalen Hurts. I don't know.
Tim says, I have refused to talk to anyone about the game. Almost had to shut my phone off. Tim sounds a little depressed.
Feel that vibe.
Yeah, listen, I mean, it's pretty much been like that today too. But yesterday, again, just walking out of that stadium, getting that what we're accustomed to doing to fans when they leave out of our stadium or when we pull off the W. But yesterday, it was just frustrating, man.
Bro.
I mean,
it's the worst.
Yeah, we literally had like a crowd sitting in the back of a pickup truck and just like kicking us out of the parking lot, like, Philly, get the fuck out of here, this and that. I'm like, ugh. I didn't say nothing. Normally I would clap back, but man, I just still quiet. Bit my lip on that one.
That's the worst part, man. When you're sitting there getting heckled and you just have to sit there and take it on the chin because your team did. And like it's the worst comment. Like, especially, I don't know if it's just because the abundance of Giants fans. Dude.
It's the division.
It's like I'm sitting there. It's like, you guys haven't done shit. You never do anything every year.
Bro, they
got the two Super Bowls in my lifetime, and that's what they just hang on to. And I'm like, okay,
it was
fine.
such a big win. It was such a big win for
11. You guys are useless every other year, man. You
I
guys
mean, the years that they won the Super Bowls, they still lost to the Eagles. Like,
exactly. That's what I told Old Head yesterday, because the first thing he threw out, how many rings y'all got? Here we go with this shit again. Okay. I told him, look, I think my ring is shinier than yours right now, but okay, you got 4, we got 1. But at the end of the day, if you would have been playing Philadelphia a whole year to get that Super Bowl, it wasn't happening because we owned that ass.
Right.
And I'm still going to tell you, we still own that ass. But yesterday, losing to these bums, it bothered the shit out of me because it was the Giants
That's pretty much their Super Bowl, man.
Yeah.
If they could beat the Eagles,
Dude, they had fireworks in the goddamn
They
parking
literally
lot.
were putting off fireworks in the parking lot. Like, it was unbelievable.
That was like a moment where I was just watching it like in slow motion, and in my head, I'm literally saying, they're really shooting fireworks out here.
Yeah, man.
I was like, they are really shooting fireworks going off, and I was in a moment where I was like, you know, if anyone knows me, then you know that I hate traffic, and not really. I couldn't even fathom driving in that traffic being stuck. Like, all right, if you guys are going to MetLife next week to meet up with us for the tailgate, we'll be in J22. But you need to park it. Like, the whole thing is a mess. Like, if you want to go park at the stadium, you have to buy a parking pass. So you're literally spending $60 to $70 on a parking pass. So if you don't have a parking pass, they're gonna put you somewhere else and they'll shuttle you
from the parking that you actually pay when you get into the parking lot. You have to pay 2 fees, one for a parking pass and then parking when you get in. That's ridiculous.
So you can pay like a 40. It allows you to park. Yeah, it allows you to park in a certain where all the tailgating happens. So if you want to tailgate, you have to buy this parking pass.
I was told by a Giants fan yesterday that that's something new they just started this season. Because when you had asked me the day before about this parking pass, that was not the case. It was like the link. Yeah, you needed a parking pass after a certain time. Now it's a parking pass just in general. That's the first thing that sucked yesterday. What was the second thing that sucked yesterday? Go ahead, Gail, because I'm gonna let you keep on going because there was quite a bit about that place that sucked. What was the main thing?
Getting into the game. Let me tell you. The security
killed the momentum right there.
It took us almost 40 minutes to get in the game.
Quarter, bro.
We're watching it on the Jumbotron.
As much as people dogged our security at the Lincoln Financial Field about how strict they are, how they're on us about bags, let me tell you something. You would appreciate the Lincoln Financial Field staff yesterday after dealing with that bullshit we deal with. It took us a whole quarter just to get to our goddamn seat.
There's no organization.
None.
You're just standing in a random pack of people. You're like, am I in line? I don't know. Maybe we seem to be moving forward. You're going across the street. It doesn't make any sense.
I started getting panicky. I was like, man, I'm not trying to have no Travis Scott situation because you're literally packed in like sardines. And like, come on, man, stop pushing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm trying to be zenned out before this game. So it was definitely stressful as we got into the game.
What a potty felt clean though.
Definitely bad. A big shout out to Chris and Mike after the game.
Philadelphia's number one scumbag.
Yeah. He had the Jim McMahon outfit. You probably see him all over social media yesterday. But he brought his dog down there, Doc, to the tailgate. But after the game, as bad as the day was, they're out here making steak, and let me tell you, that steak was so good. The dog came over, knocked a piece of steak off on the ground. I already ate one piece. I was literally about to eat the one on the ground too, without having because something you don't want to come back and be like, yo, can I get a second piece, bro? Like, I don't want to be like, could I have some more, sir? Like, but the steak was so good.
I did a quick count and I was like, there's like fucking
I saw Evan's face.
15 pieces of steak left on that board. There's like 5 of us standing here. I'm like,
Evan looks at me, he's like,
we were all thinking the same thing.
I'm gonna go get another one. I was like, I'll let you do it.
Oh, good. That was the best part of the day, man. It was that steak, bro. They came through.
And dude, there's nothing like when you're freezing cold and then you get like a nice something warm to eat or drink on, man. Spot. It was cold as hell when we first got there, though. Not gonna lie.
I've seen this comment often about like this loss is on Howie. Like I if I don't Todd, I think you might have to elaborate on that one, but at the end of the day, like I mean, if you're gonna blame him for the players that he selected that didn't come up and make plays, I guess, but like just talk about ask Sirianni. He said we weren't good enough. You can't turn the ball over 4 times You look at the wins that we've stacked. It's because we haven't been turning the ball over.
Yeah.
You give up 4. Oh, I made to mention of like walking out of the stadium and then being shit talked by New Yorkers in a New Yorker accent is even worse.
Really? Yo, and then how about the bing bong? Like I was getting on my goddamn nerves.
Yeah.
I've
only heard bing bong about 1 million times in the past week.
Oh man.
Now Johnny says build that offensive line and get Hurts real playmakers who know how to win and catch the ball. Smith, Goddard isn't enough to win. We need a big back to pound the rock with Sanders. Jordan Howard is getting healthier. He should be back soon. But again, you're talking about a consistent weapon across the way from, Smith. Like the thing about Rager is that that he can just like I said on a previous pod, like he can stretch the field. I mean that's the thing. It opens up the offense for everybody underneath, but you want more consistency as a chain mover. I don't know, man. Like, do you think like we know his Jalen Hurts' relationship with Devonta Smith fairly strong, decent. Quez, they're really great friends off the field. Like, I'm wondering what Jalen Hurts and Rager's relationship is like.
Disturb. Do you think he keeps him on DND?
Because not all relationships between quarterback and receiver are the same.
100%. No,
one guy's on the inside and the other dude hangs out with the quarterback. Like you talk about those relationships that quarterbacks have with their wide receivers. You can tell it in even the routes.
Yeah,
the way sixth sense. They know where the dude's going to be.
Anticipation. Yeah.
We're gonna go down this road again. One decides to go hunting, and the other one decides not to go hunting. Like that was the problem with the last quarterback.
If I was a wide receiver and I was like playing with Wentz, I would be like, "Hey, you want me to go fetch the duck?
I'll do it. Whatever." The one got asked to go to the club, and then one guy asked to go to Sunday mass the next day. So
I'll be at church with Wentz.
You guys ready to talk about this one? I mean, I've only been begging for this one for weeks.
We
now.
all been begging for
like the things that we beg for, right? So the people are also saying take Rager off. Like, all right, so who are you going with?
Go, man.
Huh? Like no, like if you say who you going with? Because people are saying take him off as a wide receiver too. So then you're like, all right, who else are you going with then? So all right, so if he says take Rager off special teams, Steven, let me know who you were putting there. Are you putting Greg Ward?
Honest with you, if I wasn't afraid of him getting hurt, I'd put Slay back there to return punts, dude. Dude could get to the end zone.
Bro, at this point, I'll put the punter back there right now.
Well, we do also really realize that he returned a touchdown last year.
Quez. What about Quez? Quez another guy that would be good in space?
Quez?
Yeah.
So it's not like he doesn't know how to play that position. Why is it looking like he's just learning the shit? Hit the goddamn hole.
I was looking at his Twitch. I don't see the same Twitch.
Who dat?
The Twitch that's on some of the plays that he had. But I mean, at this point, we're examining everything. Boston Scott on punt returns.
Gainwell?
Yeah, Gainwell.
I like if he's worrying about too much about being on special teams, if that's taken away from his play on, if he's a little tired or whatever, put him on. Just keep him, give it to someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, people were asking, they're like, why isn't he back there returning punts when we had Greg Ward? I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I don't know neither, man.
I mean, he's got better speed than Greg Ward. But
I was sitting there thinking, I saw Eb tweet something about what's his name from the Bears, punt returner, Devin Hester. I was like, what is Devin Hester doing? He can come off retirement just because, bro. He's there's punt returners, man. Like some of them have the vision, man.
You guys all agree that Devin Hester should be in the Hall, right?
Yeah, he'll get there. He might. Maybe.
He deserves it, bro. If you're the best at anything in any sport, you should be in the Hall of Fame. He was hands down the best returner.
Look at AJ's comment. Woo!
What she said? Oh,
Quez ain't no punk bitch.
Oh, any other comments? That
what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying, Mama McCabe. My man only goes backwards.
How about the AJ says uncharacteristic was a Boston fumble, not Rager dropping.
Especially against the Giants, the Giant killer. I mean,
I was about to tweet out the only man that can stop Boston Scott versus the New York Giants is Boston Scott.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things that, like, how I get that Boston Scott is the Giant killer, but how long was that thing gonna really last? Where he was gonna be just absolutely annihilating the Giants every time he plays? It's, he was due for.
Bro, I hate to say it, but it was kind of like he was annihilating them yesterday in the beginning. I mean, he had a rushing touchdown that was called back, not on his fault. We had an offensive lineman that decided to do a little bit.
He did end up getting a touchdown, though.
Right. Touchdown. Yeah, he could have had 2, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
AJ's out here talking about Allison Robinson. Hello.
Yeah.
I mean, and then we talk about production and stuff. Well, where's the production from Allen Robinson, the Bears? It's a volatile situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like I mean, Allen Robinson, they had interest.
That man don't want to play for the Bears no more.
They had interest, but we'll see. We'll see.
What about the pass rush yesterday? 1 sack to speak of against the not so good Giants offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much overall they bended, but they didn't break. So
Ryan Kerrigan has been completely just like, why is this dude still getting snaps?
Yeah.
Well,
maybe to keep people fresh.
Such a disappointment.
Seriously, man, that was a guy that we were really anticipating being a big part of that. Not a big part, but like a key rotational guy, the same way that Chris Long was, and he is not that this year.
I almost lost a toe just knowing we signed that dude. And
now, if you guys have any questions you want to throw at us, we missed a couple. I mean, we were going in for a second, so I missed a whole bunch of questions. But if you guys have any questions before we get out of here, we'd love to bring them up. Again, if you guys are tailgating next week, we'll be in Lot J 22. For those who are crazy, and those who are crazy enough to subject yourself to New York traffic, overpaying for parking, tickets very cheap. We got in zone seats for $100. $100. So those are amazing seats, by the way.
Yeah, they were actually really nice seats. As far as inside of the state, I don't hate the inside of MetLife. I think it's actually on the inside a pretty nice stadium. It's about getting in the stadium and their lot that just sucks.
And don't pay attention to their seating chart neither.
What do you mean? Inside the stadium?
If it tells you 128 is one direction, go the opposite direction.
Oh, we walked around.
You and Prime did a full lap around the stadium. Me and Lowski were just chilling. We're like, yeah.
And I said that too. I said, right. I think we were supposed to make a right instead of a left. Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, Evan and Lowski are at their seats. You think so? I know so.
Kevin's going in on Facebook. Says Sirianni even says he uses Rager because of speed. Obviously, he's not producing. When he was drafted, I didn't agree that it was a first-round draft pick. How can we sit here and think that we made the right choice while Justin Jefferson is racking up 100 yards every game? The thing about because we also did a video on Justin Jefferson, and as I dove in on Jefferson's tape, and everybody was saying that Justin Jefferson couldn't be an outside receiver. Analysts were saying, I'm like, how could you even say? I'm like, and then you look at Joe Burrow's, championship, ride. I'm like, Justin Jefferson was the definition of steady Eddie, and he was the route runner, crispy routes. Like that was the one thing where he was just a quarterback's best friend. And Yeah, it's just when you. I think the anger lies when you like you could say DK Metcalf, and you look at J Jaw,
That's
and he got.
mine, bro.
Then you can then you want to look at the positive things. J Jaw has 2 targets, and he's caught both balls.
Wow. He did that thing he's supposed to do.
Oh,
They thought he was
God.
a tight end a few weeks ago because he doesn't ever get the ball thrown to him. All he does is block. But yeah, that's the one that I get more caught up on over not Justin Jefferson so much as DK Metcalf. That guy is just a freak of nature. Everybody knew it based on the combine that he was a freak of nature, and they told us the same analysts that said that Justin Jefferson could only play the slot were saying that he only knew one route how to run. He only knew how to run slant, and obviously that's not the case.
Zach Ertz says Ertz grit and toughness is not a question. He definitely has that dog in him, no question. He won't go down swinging. I think he will go down swinging. Maybe you wrote that because I feel like he has that gamer in him. Like when the play breaks down or whatever, because you can say how bad a first half he had. At least he put him back in a position to win at the end of the game. That's the part where I saw someone else comment on that. Like that's something that you could be like, hey, that's a positive there. But again, ball placement. We talk about the next step of Jalen Hurts' development. I've said it earlier in pods. It's all about eye manipulation. Where you can start moving people in the pocket with your eye and body movement, shuffling. Keeping your eyes downfield, not locking in on your targets. Getting to the third read is where I'm trying to see him go. Like all I keep hearing from everybody is like, but can he get to the third read? It's something you talk to your football buddies that are like, X's and O's dudes, and they're like, can he get to the third read though? Is he a first read quarterback? Like, can he throw with anticipation? Well, I mean, that's what we're trying to figure out.
I think these are all things, like I said, that come with development. I think that being a first read quarterback, if you're a young guy, that's something that you can work on and work through.
How about Jalen Hurts, a top quarterback in fantasy football?
That is true. Points wise, that's true.
Mm.
Unfortunately, fantasy score means nothing for the actual team score.
AJ says, does something happen to Evan almost every road trip? Is he the problem?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I got hit in the ball with a lip. I went to Jets training camp. They wouldn't fill up my water bottle. They don't give out free water to us. Hey, if we should get you a Jets water bottle at the next game.
A Jets water bottle? Why?
Because remember they didn't, you wanted water. Your water bottle.
It wasn't that the Jets wouldn't fill up my water bottles. That you wouldn't go get my water bottle filled up.
This guy.
The truth comes out.
Love you too, AJ. Love you too.
I did fill up that water bottle. Took 8 cups, and I saw 2 little kids
that looked like they were on the brink of dehydration.
Yeah, and here I am with 8 cups, and Evan's like,
I like to stay hydrated.
Yeah, man. I'm still, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still feeling it a day later.
Yeah, dude, I feel like not great.
I came home. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have some dessert. Maybe that'll make me feel better. This is because you're just feeling like, what can make me feel better? I still had leftovers.
Chipotle. I got Chipotle to make us.
I had leftovers from Thanksgiving. I'm like, bro, I don't care how many days it is. I was like, I'm eating this. Yeah. I said, I'm eating all the yams. I'm eating all the rest of the mac and cheese. I'm getting this dry ass turkey because it's a couple days.
Yeah,
But I ate it, and then I'm like, I'm gonna have some dessert. I fell asleep before I ate my dessert, so I just had leftover melted ice cream.
Nice.
That I woke up
just chilling on your stomach.
I just fell asleep. I fell asleep mad, and then I woke up and I was like, dude, I'm just living my tweet right now because I'm woke up pissed. I didn't even finish my ice cream.
Still got to clean up that mess.
I woke up mad. I didn't even want to go to work, man.
Prime boy for shit talking in the car.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. When I got home last night, I feel like more of my anger. I'm pretty good at sleeping things off. I could sleep it off. I didn't wake up in a great mood today, But last night when I got home, I sat down on the couch and it was one of those times where you ever sit there on the couch and you're watching TV, but you're not actually watching TV. You're just sitting there staring through the screen and just in your own head. That was me for like 4 hours last time, just looking at the screen, but not even watching it. Couldn't move. Couch lock.
Tim says, but to say that Jalen Hurts, he is not the guy, is a quick reaction. Besides this game, he has very solid growth.
I agree, Tim.
Tim is also he's coached, and his son plays quarterback. A very talented quarterback, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a potential Eagles prospect down the road. We'll see. Tim will back me on that. Todd, he says, just like you're not sold on Hurts. I think it's too early to cast him off.
I agree.
We still have games to finish out. Let's let it play out. You know what I mean?
I'm not one to cast him out, but I'm going to be one to quick call him on his stupid plays calling or stupid decisions. That's all. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and call it how I see it.
Moore is out in the chat. Spicy says she's bringing up arm talent. She said that's her only argument. But Todd says the numbers don't lie, Moira. Okay.
Spicy between each other. Man.
I love when there's there's something going on in the chat.
Back and forth with the chat.
Philadelphia says, funny how Wentz fans made an excuse for him for 3 years straight, and we can't finish 1 year with Hurts with all the extra BS we have going on. Shaking my head.
Like, I've heard everything between like race, between some people are like, it is what it is. But bro, I mean, quarterbacks aren't like I've seen so much, like in my Eagles fandom from chat rooms before there was even Twitter, and like the racism about quarterback, like I've seen it. So I mean, like, but I in terms of just letting a guy finish a year and then make an evaluation, just let it happen. Like, and I saw a comment that was like, if people that know football whatever. I mean, people that know football said that Jalen Hurts couldn't be that guy, and then Dan Orlovsky, who last week was telling us that he was the guy now.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it, like? Guys that know football, like, I don't know.
Dan Orlovsky, to me, I like the guy. He seems to be solely focused on having the Eagles fans wanting to like him, bro.
His wife is an Eagles fan.
I just get the vibe that Dan Orlovsky just says things that he knows will please Eagles fans. He was a big Wentz stan when he was here. Now he's a big Hurts
wife guy. What is it? Prime knows this. Happy wife,
happy life.
So if his wife's an Eagle fan, I feel like his takes have to be like, I'm gonna make my wife happy.
But this guy's making a whole career out of just making his wife happy on network TV.
Hey, listen, man. By the time that man walks into that house, he's already giving him that look. Get your shit together or pack your bags.
He did get dragged. He's been getting dragged as of late. But so I mean, is this a vibe? Because Moira brings this up. I mean, who cares about stats? Only thing I care about are W's.
Yeah. I think that's a good mentality.
Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you also got to look. The guy doesn't play for stats. I mean, he's not a Tom Brady. He's not he's not that quarterback trying to get the stats. He's a quarterback in there trying to get a win. So he's doing whatever he does. He's rushing to get the first down, or he's passing to get the first down. So he's all around making plays the way he needs to make the plays. So yeah, I mean, I don't think stats is on his mind.
Now, AJ says, look at all the other games this season. You can see when Hurts is in rhythm and when he just runs out of habit. I mean, you've seen where he gets the happy feet sometimes, where he feel like he has to, like, like you want him to, like, be more stand tall in the pocket sometimes.
I think that his just moving around within the pocket and his happy feet, I honestly think that has vastly improved over the year.
I agree.
I think that in the beginning of the year, he was way more if he thinks that the pocket was about to break down, he quits looking downfield, tucks the ball, and he runs with it. I think honestly now he's been moving around within the pocket and keeping his eyes downfield. I think that's something he's really improved on.
Yeah, I think I only remember seeing that line collapse on him once yesterday, and that was that big sack they ended up getting in that quarter.
Damn, I'm like 40 minutes behind the comments.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're bringing up comments from like over
bro.
a half an hour ago. You're like, oh, Moira said, Moira said a half hour ago.
Well said, Evan.
Big Fish Little Boat says Chris Godwin would be ideal. Dude blocked his ass off in the Super Bowl. Godwin, Smith, Watkins would be a problem.
Bro, I mean, is that man going to leave the organization that he's playing well for? Is he going to leave that quarterback he's playing well?
That's what I'm saying. Like, the only thing is like, yo, you if your family has to drive up 15, 25 minutes to see you play, could that be enticing for man? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be enough. Where's the time?
Oh, hey, by the way, no, again, we want to this is, you know, for anyone who's lasted this long, we definitely want to shout everyone that subscribed and got us to the 1,000 mark here on YouTube. Obviously, we're on other platforms with bigger followings, but it's you know, we talk about celebrating the W's, celebrate the small victories, and so we went and had Korean food. And these guys were enlightened. They look like kids playing in you know, when they're playing with paint, or like just like we were
playing with raw food.
You know, they had their chopsticks out for the first time. Everyone was like, I think you do it like this. They did a great job, and we cooked the Korean beef and the meats, and they just
bulgogi.
They're sitting there looking at it like Prime sits down and the waitress just comes over to Prime. He's like, I don't know. You ask that guy over there. I don't know anything.
Same thing. She starts asking us questions about what we like. I was like, I don't fucking.
He's like, I'm a virgin at Korean. I don't know anything about
how I felt. All right, I'm gonna break it down. So yes, the waitress was asking me questions. I told her straight up, I'm following that guy's lead. Yeah. So, you know, whatever he decides we're going to get, that's what we're going to get. In the very beginning, we're looking at the menu, and they're very detailed. Tongue and all. I was just like, I was already thrown off by that. So I'm like, see, and I even said it to Evan. I was like, see, if they could go without letting me know exactly what body part it is, I might be all right here. But, you know, now I'm already kind of nervous. And then what's it called? I keep on messing up. Bulgogi.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. So that came out, and I mean, this stuff is coming out raw. So it's for us to go ahead and cook. So when this
which is what threw me off. I was like, we got to do the work here. Do I got to get my own drinks too?
so the food came out raw, and I was like, oh shit, man. Like, I don't even know if I could do this. But, you know, started off with the chicken. Yeah, that was very good. That chicken was very good. And, you know, the bulgogi,
short ribs.
The short. Oh, sure. I actually like the prime meat.
Because it said prime.
No, I mean that thing was.
No, it was good. It was good.
I tried seaweed for the very first time. That was a little bit different.
Wifey's probably like, seaweed.
Yeah, I even told her I tried seaweed. I was like, yeah, he had me try seaweed. Then we had the rice. The rice was real good. I think the entertaining part of that whole thing was watching Evan use chopsticks. Yeah, he was struggling real hard, but I mean, it was fun though. You know, I mean, just like as I was struggling to go ahead and eat and see this raw meat, he was struggling with the chopsticks. So, but it was great.
He's acting like he's a professional with the chopsticks.
I'm better than you.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, I'm trash with the chopsticks, but as far as the food and everything, I was very impressed. I was very impressed with the whole situation they got going on. So we'd definitely do it again.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. I definitely recommend it. You know, I mean, Gail would asked us if we would go back solo. Honestly, probably not, but you know, as a group thing, it's definitely a cool place. Yeah,
that's a good date night.
Yeah, bring all of them. Don't be little kids and be like, I want chicken nuggets. Leave the kids at home.
Yeah, I'm not taking my kids knowing that we have to cook our own shit. That's all I need is the little one to go ahead and throw his damn hand on the grill.
I'm not gonna lie. That was the one thing I was concerned about. Like with raw chicken, listen, I worked in the kitchen for many years.
You yelled at
I know the
you
dangers of raw chicken.
chicken.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, we got raw chicken touching our fucking beef over here. We're using the same tongs to touch the raw chicken that we are the cooked meat. I'm like, this shit.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
Koreans, they put a lot of faith in their stomachs, man. I tell you.
So, overall, we will probably go out for another experience. I'll be uploading their experience on YouTube. But getting back to YouTube, we wanted to the 1,000 subscribers. We said we're going to give away something at 1,000, so we are going to be giving away a jersey of your choice, Eagles jersey of your choice. Coy Detmer,
or Jalen Reagor, whoever you want to wear.
Whoever you want that the Eagles sell on their site. We're not like, you said anything, man. I'm getting Freddie Mitchell custom, whatever. a current Eagles jersey to a we're gonna have to figure out a contest for that. It'll be a YouTube. It'll be a YouTube subscriber though.
Wow, you want to go there? All right, bro. That's good.
It'll be a YouTube subscriber, so you have to be subscribed to our YouTube for this contest.
We could do we could put out a post or something like that, and then whoever responds to it, put it on a wheel, spin a wheel, have everybody see. I'm just throwing out suggestions.
They do have a thing called a YouTube comment picker, so we could do the contest, do the video, and then someone in the comments will get that jersey. So start thinking about what jersey you want, because somebody's coming away with a new jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Black jersey only. Come on. Why can't it be a white jersey? Why can't it be a green jersey? It's going to be Devontae Smith, though.
Yeah, no, it's most likely. I mean, I got my Devontae Smith. Just saying.
Oh, this
big,
guy.
Big shout out. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. I also
Happy belated.
Got a little book action.
Yes, sir.
See this? You might be able to recognize that signature. Number 20. He used to play for the Eagles. He was a safety.
Slight flex. Man. I remember
he was the god. He was God.
Prime's out here talking about, he's like, oh, you didn't get me nothing signed when you went to see Brian Dawkins. I was like, then the look on these kids' faces.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joey. Yeah, Joey shakes.
We're just trying to be like you, bro.
Shaking it up on YouTube over here. Amazing. Yeah, I mean, we went off the rails again, but again,
happens after the hour mark every time.
It's all good. We're having a good time. Are the Sixers winning?
Won.
They won.
That's Damn. What that was a comment earlier in here. I'm surprised. I know you're usually searching about 30, 45 minutes ago. That comment was in there.
Yeah, he's on a delay.
But anyway, I mean, before we get out of here, we'll go last word with Prime.
Let's see. We got Thursday night game that could pretty much put us back onto the map. So we're hoping for the Saints to go ahead and pull off this victory. And then maybe we could get these stars lined up again. We'd like to definitely put this game. Yeah, we'd like to definitely put this game behind us, man. It still hurts. It's probably going to hurt again tomorrow. But, maybe come Thursday, get over it, move on to the Jets, and then, hopefully finish off the season strong. Other than that, just definitely hope everybody has a safe week. At the end of the day, you know what it is. Go Birds all day.
For me, I'm going to say a full year evaluation is a full year evaluation. Give the man to the end of the season. All these people that are out here, saying they're done with Hurts. You want Gardner Minshew to save your season? You think that that's reality? You think that we make a playoff push with Gardner Minshew? I think that's silly. Call me crazy. This is not a team that I have high expectations for. It's a week-to-week team. They make you feel great last week. This week it feels like we got our hearts ripped out. That's just the definition of a mediocre team. That's exactly what we are. I expect mediocrity from here on out. But it's always go Birds. There's always next year.
I know week in, week out, we're trying to figure out the identity of this football team. We kind of thought we knew
Yeah, I thought we
this
did.
new identity. So the feeling of like, ooh, we might know who this team is. And then the fact that they go out and have a game like they did, and you're like, this is what you're doing in the streets now. I thought we were making a commitment. So the fact that they want to you want to take us to the dance, we're feeling good about ourselves. We're sitting in traffic. We're getting heckled by people with New York accents for this team, and then we're gonna go back again,
Bing bong,
and do it again for y'all. This is how much we love y'all. Like, you don't understand how much of a to do what we did last Sunday and to come back with L and and we're going back again. We're going back again. So only the crazies.
We lose next week. Yo, we got a fucking problem.
Somebody, if we lose next week, I swear to God, somebody's going to get a bing bong.
Bing bong. Yeah, I just feel like again, life as an Eagle fan is never easy. We go through the ups and downs, trials and tribulations, QB battles. What it is what it is. But we'll be back at it next week. See you there Sunday. Lot J2, J22. Bring the vibes. I've had a lot of people hit me up in the DM saying, hey, I'm coming to it. I saw that last tailgate. That was great. I'm coming to this tailgate. So hats off to you guys, and hats off to this team. Hopefully they get it together. Get your shit together. We still love you. And as always, fly, Eagles, fly. And we'll see you in the next one.